Here's an AMI This Week shortcut with Alex Smyth.
All my life, it's been my job to make sure that I could try and be included in a world that wasn't really built for me.
Back in 2019, we were on hand to see Maayan Ziv, founder and CEO of AccessNow, receive $2.7 million in support from the Canadian government to grow the reach and impact of the AccessNow app.
We're investing in our technology to establish the ultimate intelligent platform to search for and rate and discover places based on the level of accessibility in Canada and beyond.
I wanted to check in and see how that funding was put to use.
So the funding we received from the federal government really focused on AccessNow as an overall resource to help Canadians with disabilities navigate across Canada. But most of that funding has gone to kind of keeping the team going, organizing, implementing, fixing, product development. We've got a lot of kind of cool new things happening, but those are kind of all still in development.
What makes AccessNow so appealing is that they take a different approach to identifying barriers and accommodations.
You know, often when we look at accessibility, it can be something overwhelming and cumbersome, especially if you're not familiar with the space. Accessibility standards or legislation change depending on which country you're in, or even what city you're in sometimes. My approach and what we've done with AccessNow has been to encourage community, if you think about something like Wikipedia, to contribute to a platform where everybody benefits. And the more that people share, the more we begin to understand what accessibility actually is defined as, not by one specific narrative, but by thousands upon thousands of people contributing to a whole.
Now, since your organization is all about getting out and into the community, how did you transition once the pandemic hit?
Yeah, so I'll say for sure our focus, very quickly, we had to start rethinking what we were doing as a company when COVID hit. A year ago, we were very much in the position where we realized people weren't going anywhere, and it didn't really make sense to continue to even promote or invite people to use AccessNow to go or do anything. So we've done a few things. The first thing we did was create a new definition of accessibility for ourselves as a company, which now also includes things like virtual experiences or delivery services or things that you can access from home. So we created a new label on the AccessNow app called Access from Home. Basically, it lets you determine what things you have available to you that are accessible from your own house. And moving forward, these are the kinds of elements that we're really looking to focus on.
Now, do you think once we go back that some of these accessible digital features and services will continue to be utilized?
100%. I really hope that that's going to be the case. I remain optimistic. I think that the pandemic in many ways taught the whole world about these concepts of flexibility and accessibility in ways they never were really willing to consider before. Things like the possibilities of working from home or shifting your work hours. The disability community has been advocating for some of these quote unquote accommodations for a really long time before, it took a global crisis to kind of wake people up and realize oh, we can do things differently and actually we like it. So what I really hope is that regardless of if people know why or for who, they do continue to offer those things.
Maayan, I'm curious, what does the future hold for you and AccessNow?
I think honestly for me, the mission is really to be able to be wherever people are. We want to make sure that it doesn't matter who you are or where you are. If you need some form of information about accessibility of a built environment, you should be able to access that. It shouldn't be 15 hours of research just to find out if you could go and stay at a hotel somewhere or, go for coffee somewhere in a different city. So we really want to create a platform that is super robust and also vocalizes people's lived experiences. So something we're really passionate about right now is expanding the tools and the ability for people to share different information. There's a whole list of things that people have asked for us to integrate into the app, and we haven't done it in the past, but part of the funding as well has gone to enabling new tools for people to share.
For more info on the app, the Access from Home feature, and more, visit accessnow.com.